Hari Om. At some point on the spiritual journey, every sadhaka has one question in mind, which is which path of yoga should I walk? Because there are many paths. There are the four main paths of Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Raja Yoga. And within these, there are subsets of mantra, Hatha Yoga, Kriya, Kundalini, Tantra. And often this can lead to confusion. Especially in today's times, it leads to confusion because there are so many sources and one may be in conflict. Should I follow this or that? And I would say that all of us will be drawn to one path predominantly depending on our inclination. So if you are inclined more intellectually, then Jnana and the path of self-inquiry and scriptures and just observing everything with discernment, this will come quite naturally to you. If you're more emotional and sentimental and have a lot of devotion by temperament, then naturally the path of bhakti is what will appeal to you. Similarly, if you are more drawn to understanding the mind and working with the mind and deepening your experience of the psyche, then Raja Yoga or Dhyana Yoga is what will be the best suitable path for you. And finally, if you're more dynamic by temperament, if you are very oriented towards service and giving, then Karma Yoga is what will be the path. But the masters have said again and again that we need a combination of all of these. We just can't focus on one of them or two of them. For an all-round holistic development of our personality, body, mind, emotions, we need to have a balance of all of these. Of course, as I mentioned, we will be drawn to one of these predominantly, but we need to find a balance and work with all of them at different levels. For instance, if we focus only on Raja Yoga, meditation and the mind, and if you don't take care of body, or if you don't work on opening the heart, then it leads to a lot of psychological imbalances. Also, if you don't purify the body and mind through Karma Yoga, and if you attempt, say, Raja Yoga, then it leads to again imbalance because we're just cleansing all the clutter in meditation. Similarly, if you focus too much on the body and only Hatha Yoga, then again it leads to an imbalanced development of the body and the mind and the prana. At the same time, if you focus too much on self-inquiry and only jnana, then again it becomes a very intellectual and a very head-oriented pursuit to yoga. And that's fine. Many people will be taking this approach, that's okay. But the masters have said that it is important to find a balance between all of them while being drawn to one path predominantly. But in the modern times, in Kali Yuga, we have to remember that it's very difficult to practice Jnana Yoga and Raja Yoga because the bodies are not as strong and the mind is not as powerful as before. We are very, I would say, weak in terms of the body and the mind. So naturally, for most of us, we will find benefit and a lot of growth in Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. Karma Yoga because all of us are dynamic to some degree or the other by temperament, and we all have to work. In this world, we have to work to survive and sustain. And why not make every activity a spiritual one through Karma Yoga? And similarly, the scriptures have said that in Kali Yuga, the easiest sadhana is chanting the names of the divine and singing the names of the divine. Bhakti is very important also to surrender and work with minimizing the ego because that's what is the ultimate obstacle on the yogic or the spiritual path. So in Kali Yuga, Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga are the most, I would say, the easier paths to walk compared to Jnana and Raja. But of course, we need a combination of all, like I mentioned. So I hope this was helpful and gave you clarity about which path to walk on, and hopefully a reminder that we need an overall development of the body, the energy, the mind, emotions, and spiritual evolution. And for that, we need to find a good balance between all of them. Thank you. I wish you a wonderful day ahead. Namaste.